Hello, pastors, ministry leaders. Welcome to Pastors for AI. This video, I hope is going to be short, but I really hope it's going to help you. The purpose of this video is going to be if you have never seen what generative AI is, what it looks like. I know artificial intelligence is something that we're seeing a lot about in the news. We're seeing some people who are very for it and some people who are very against it. And I think that there's a lot of people who really don't even understand what it is. And we can't really start to discuss how it can help pastors if we don't really understand what it is. And so the purpose of this video, think of this as the most basic introduction to the tools, to what it is, and a very quick demonstration of how you can use it and some of the things that it can do. And so we're going to look at two different tools. We're going to look at OpenAI's ChatGPT. That's kind of the front runner right now when it comes to generative AI tools. We're also going to look at Google's kind of answer to ChatGPT, which is Google Bard. We're going to look at both of those. And again, in this video, I'm going to assume that you know none of this. You've never seen it. You have no idea how to use it. You have no idea if you sat down in front of your computer, even if you wanted to use it, if somebody sold you on it and said, hey, here's all the different ways that it can help you, how do you do it? Where do you go? What does it look like for you to use it? And so that's the purpose of this video. And if there's things that throughout this video that you hear that, man, I'd like a little more clarification on that, or man, I wish there was a video just on that, please comment below. Let me know. And those comments likely will become their own videos in the future. My whole goal for this YouTube channel is to really just help pastors and ministry leaders learn how they can utilize these tools in an ethical way, in a God honoring way, but really to become more efficient in our work. There's a lot of things that can now be done really simply through the use of this technology. If that's you and you want to learn how to do these things, just stay tuned to this video. We're gonna hopefully make this quick, but I hope that it will really help you. So again, the goal of this video is you've never done any of this, you know none of this, you're brand new, you sit down in front of your computer. Let's get into it. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to need an email address, obviously. But you're going to go to OpenAI. This is the company that is really, again, the front runner. They've created a tool called ChatGPT. But let's go to OpenAI's webpage. This is their homepage. You can log in here if you've already made an account before, but we're going to click Try ChatGPT. Now, for me, I've already signed in. You can see I have my name down here. If you didn't have an account already, a screen would pop up and basically say, give us your email address, create a password. You're creating an account. Once you create your account for ChatGPT, you're going to get this screen here. You're going to see here that the free version of ChatGPT is version 3.5, which is very capable. It can do a lot of things. There's some things that you need to upgrade to ChatGPT 4 to get. I use ChatGPT 4 because there's a lot of I think there's a lot of added benefits to the upgrade. I think it's $20 a month, but when you really look at the efficiency that you're going to get out of these tools, $20 a month is really not a lot when you look at all the time that it's going to save you, especially in a church setting or in a business setting. You can really kind of use this software to replace a lot of hours of work. So you can we'll talk about the GPT-4 in a later video, but for now, ChatGPT 3.5, my goal for you is just to see this in action, see what it is, but also show you how to create the account so that way you can get in here and just start playing around with it. And so the best way to think of these generative AI systems is really, and it sounds strange and it sounds very like sci-fi, but it's basically a digital assistant. You're going to ask it conversationally. You can really ask it a question, and it's going to take all the information that it's been trained on through the internet, and it's going to provide you a response. Similar to how if I were to go on Google right now and I'm going to ask Google, how do I cook a steak? It's going to take that question and it's going to search the internet and it's going to compile a list of websites that it thinks that I might want to go to learn how to make a steak. This is doing the same thing, except it's going to give me an answer. It's not going to give me a list of resources. It's going to answer my question. And so, um, I mean, let's do that. And this would actually be my first encouragement. I'm going to show you some practical, like spiritual, like pastoral stuff that you can do with this. But honestly, it's kind of just fun to play around, and you can have it tell you jokes. I had ChatGPT write a poem that I gave somebody in like in a humorous way as a part of their Christmas gift. Like you can have this literally do anything. So if I would encourage you, go in here and just start playing around. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, how do I cook a steak on a cast iron grill? Right? Simple question. And it's going to give me an answer. It's not only going to give me an answer, and look at how fast it's doing it, by the way, but ingredients, preparation, seasoning, preheat your cast iron, oil the steak, searing, and it's just going through it, the different temperature ranges, checking for doneness, resting, serve. Okay, so now this is where it gets interesting. So, I mean, that's a great response. That gives me all the information I needed. I now don't have to, I mean, these AI systems are kind of replacing search engines because I now don't need to search for recipes. I can have it present me a recipe. But let's say, I'm reading through these and I don't have, I don't have any vegetable oil or olive oil, right? That's a problem. I don't have any. Right? That's a problem. I need to tell it I don't have these things. It's going to now adjust what it told me to do. So it's saying here's some different oils that you can use. Okay. I don't have any of these oils either. Can I just use butter? I don't know. Maybe. Yes. Yes, you can use butter to cook your steak, but here's a few things to keep in mind, right? And so you're able to kind of keep this conversation going within this chat. Now, this chat is logged over here. Okay, so here I can always go back and find out how to cook my steak perfectly on a cast iron grill. So go on here, play around, ask it questions, do things. But let me just show you a couple examples. And I want to make sure I keep this video short. But how this can be used within pastoral ministry. So I'm going to sit down and I'm about to start a sermon series or a sermon prep. And normally, you go to your bookshelf and you have your different books. So say I'm developing a sermon on the subject of baptism, right? So we're prepping for a baptism Sunday. And I can go to my bookshelf and I can pull the different books that I know of that have content on it, or I can obviously go, and the Bible needs to be our primary source, right? So the different texts that talk about baptism, and I'm going to do my study and different commentaries. Maybe I have a MacArthur study Bible. Maybe I have, a Matthew Henry, and I got all these different resources that I, as a pastor, go to pull information, to study, to research, and to develop a sermon. Well, let's let this tool do all that legwork for us. Again, it's still up to us to study. It's still up to us to write the sermon, but let's see how this can help us. I'm starting a sermon on baptism. Compile me a list of resources, including commentaries, Bible passages, um, we'll say John MacArthur because he's a big name. Notable sermons from John MacArthur, because again, if we're searching his study Bible, um, we want to get his insight on it. And let's enter. Let's just see what we get. Let's just start here. Certainly, here's a list, and it's going to provide some commentaries here. Matthew Henry, Gills, Barnes, Bible passages. Here's a list of good passages to read through. Notable sermons, additional resources, got questions. This is a good little list of resources to get me off the ground here. Now let's say I want to inside this sermon, I want to tackle the controversy of infant baptism to believers baptism, and compare um, the positions on infant baptism and believers baptism. from the just say North American Baptist tradition. That's the denomination that I'm a part of. And here, it's going to give theological basis for infant baptism, and then it's going to do the same thing for believers' baptism. And now we have a nice little set of information here um, that we can certainly use. Now, it's important, again, this is not, I mean, you need to be reading through all of this. These systems can make mistakes. And so this is not like, do not go and just copy and paste this and then all of a sudden read it verbatim in front of your congregation, which is this is a important thing for us to understand here. Just like with any tool, can generative AI be used unethically? Yes. Can it be used in a way that removes um, really everything that is spiritually significant about pastoral ministry from pastoral ministry? And the answer is yes. Could you go on? Could I, right now, in front of you, type in, write me a manuscript for a sermon on baptism that will be preached for 30 minutes in front of a congregation that's this demographic? They like jokes and they like illustrations and then whatever, dot, 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 dot. Enter. Would the system write that sermon for me? The answer is yes. Yes, it will. And it's really unfortunate because there's going to be misuse of that. But if we're being fair, my pushback, because that's really one of the biggest things where people start to say, I don't know, I don't think pastors should be using generative AI. I don't think churches should use it. I don't think businesses should. I don't think college students should. I mean, this is a big topic of conversation right now. My pushback specifically with pastors is this: pastoral plagiarism is nothing new. If you're a pastor here, you already know you could go online right now. You could Google sermon on baptism. You can go on Sermon Central, or you can go on Preaching Today, or you can go on any of these websites that have where pastors upload their sermons in order to inspire and to encourage and to educate other people. You could rip off any one of their sermons. You can copy and paste and put your name on top of it. Like, that's nothing new. That unfortunately has happened for a long time. This is no different, right? Google is a tool that can be misused. AI is a tool that can be misused. Now, the difference is for us pastors and ministry leaders, like, we're called to a high standard, right? And if we want God to be moving within our churches, if we want the Holy Spirit to be working through our sermons, the Holy Spirit has to be a part of the sermon. And if you're just copy pasting or regurgitating information in front of a group of people on Sunday mornings, and you're then going to wonder why the Holy Spirit's not moving within your congregation, it's because you've left the Holy Spirit out of it. And so, and not only that, but I think that you're also being deceitful. And there's a level of deception when you're telling your congregation that you're prepping for a sermon, but really you're letting a computer program write the sermon for you. And so, again, these tools need to be tools. Use them as a tool to aid and support you. They should not be replacing what you do. The purpose of this video is just to kind of show you this. OpenAI.com, go on, create an account, get in here, and I don't know, start having it make funny jokes for you or something. Like, just get in here and play around with it, ask it questions, see what it can do for you. You'll be shocked at how quickly it compiles this information. And then so this is ChatGPT. I want to switch over and I want to show you Google Bard in just a couple few short moments. Bard is Google's version of basically ChatGPT. It's their generative AI system. Some nice things about Google Bard, bard.google.com. Go there. There'll be a little button to basically sign up, put in your email address and a password, and you'll all of a sudden you'll be here with Google Bard. Same thing. Enter a prompt. You could ask it anything, and but now in comparing ChatGPT to Google Bard, I think Bard is a little nicer to look at. It's a little more user friendly, but I think the results you get are actually a little less than what you would get from ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT is further ahead when it comes to the actual responses, but Google Bard's prettier to look at. And one thing that Google Bard does have going for it is this thing here called extensions. So extensions actually allows you to have this chat system integrate into your Gmail, your Google Drive, your Google Calendar, all these different things. So what this actually allows you to do, you can go here to new chat and I can actually ask it questions. So I have my Google Drive here where you'll see that I have I keep all my sermons. So I can go here to Bard and I'm going to say, um, in my drive, find the sermon I preached dealing with enduring trials. Right. I know I preached that, but I'm trying to find it. I don't remember the name. I don't remember when I did it. It's now searching. It's accessing my documents, and boom, right here, I found two sermons that deal with enduring trials. Sunday service 8/20/23, and then another one here, growing through your trials, based on Romans 5:3-5. Here's the documents. I can go and access them. Just think for a moment how impactful this could be if your church maintained their documents, their job descriptions, all the administrative stuff. If you used Google Drive as your cloud source, you could literally go here instead of asking your secretary to pull the giving records from 3 years ago. You could literally, and they're thumbing through a metal file cabinet trying to find a paper document somewhere. You could literally have your digital assistant here access anything that you need through a simple asking of a question. Right, the possibilities here are remarkable as to how this technology could really streamline um, your administrative side of your church, especially for small churches where the pastors are the ones doing it. And so the same technology can be used to create sermon slides for you. If you were to say you finish your sermon and now you need to create your sermon slides, you can have these systems do that for you. And we're going to tackle a lot of these specifics in future videos. I want this to really just be kind of an eye opener on how to get into these systems and how to use them. But again, these things need to remain a tool, whether you use Google Bard, whether you use ChatGPT, whether you use none of them, right? These things are to aid and support, not replace. And that really needs to be a focus, just like Google is not meant to replace your brain, right? We need to use our brain to use these tools. And so I just hopefully this has been a good kind of opener for you. If you have questions that have come up during this time, please comment below and let me know. We'll take those questions and we'll make future videos out of them. If you're not already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that way when these next videos come out, you'll be made aware. There's a lot of things coming up. We're going to talk about the ethics. We're going to talk about the moral side of things, the theological analysis of these tools. And so I want you to be a part of that. And if you have questions, I want to answer them. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Take care.